Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am T.J. Jackson, and with me is my eldest brother, Taj Jackson.
What's going on?
It's a peace sign, huh?
Yeah.
We are live, of course, on the Power of Love show. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you are watching us right now, we want to thank you guys for joining us, for being part of this community. You may also be listening to us on our podcast. Yes, we stream on all the major podcast platforms. So if you are a podcast listener, make sure to check us out there. But again, to the Facebook and YouTube viewers, we want to thank you guys. We are a community. We hope you guys feel it. We hope you guys engage with us. We love it when you guys engage with us. So please continue to do so. With that said, we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who've experienced loss in our lives. We have been impacted by it, and we have learned from it. And what we like to do here on the Power of Love show is to share some of what we have learned to maybe help you guys get through whatever it is you are going through. Saying that, if you find the need, if you think you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and to find it. Please, please, please do not just rely on us. Taj Jackson, how has your week been, man?
I have no idea. I don't even remember the week. Everything's going well. I just don't know what the week is.
What the week is? You don't know what day it is?
And I usually look at my calendar to see what went on during the week. I'm sure something important happened.
It's crazy. I feel like as we get older and as we age, the weeks just go faster, and it feels like, I don't know, they all roll into one day. For me, I'm in Nashville. As you guys can see the different background. I'm in taking a break from a studio session. And the reason why I wanted to share that is because we have a special guest.
Yes,
who is also who we can relate to, because he is also a recording artist. So, Taj, if it's okay with you, I'd love to just jump right into our show.
Let's do it.
Okay. Any other announcements? I feel like there's an announcement we need to talk about. I have one, but if there's one you could think, I don't want to cut you off.
No, do yours first, because I might trigger something for me.
Well, the only thing I want to say is, just 4 days ago was the 20-year anniversary of September 11th. Today's date, September 15th, September 11th, 2021, which is the 20-year anniversary. And I just want to send love and condolences and just warmth to anyone who was affected directly by the tragedies. It affected all of our lives, but us at the D.D. Jackson Foundation, I'm going to say this on behalf of Taj and our whole board, we just want to send love and warmth and hugs to you during this difficult time. Even for me, it's a triggering time. It was like my first foray into adulthood and being shaken, because you think, the world is one way, and then it's experiences that kind of let you know that whether it's evilness or whether it's just uncertainty or instability in your world. And that event was huge for kind of shaking, obviously mom's passing just a couple years prior, obviously affected that as well. But I remember I was slowly getting back into a groove of life, and September 11th was a monumental whole thing that affected myself and my family. And it was just tough. So, but again, it's not about us. I just want to send you guys love who are directly impacted by it on behalf of Taj and the foundation. That's probably the one thing, because now that we do this show, Taj, whenever there's a big event or a big thing, I'm like thinking about talking about it on our show, because it's impactful for the community and for people. So all right, so Taj, I want to get right into it. We have an amazing guest, if that's okay with you.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So on today's episode of the Power of Love show, we welcome special guest and pop recording artist Willie Tay, who's known better as his stage name Wils. Wils is a singer-songwriter from Singapore who gained massive fame with fans in Singapore before being dropped by his record label when he revealed his truth to them, which was that he was gay. Wils wanted to be truthful and authentic about who he was with his label and, of course, his fans. Instead of being met with support, Wils' record label dropped him and deleted his social media accounts where he interacted with his 400,000 fans on social media before he had the opportunity to share his truth with them.
Wow.
Soon after this devastation, Wils got his debut in the U.S. by collaborating with American Idol's Randy Jackson, not our uncle, the other Randy Jackson, where his single Back to Life debuted at #2 on the Swiss dance charts. Yes, right. Wils. Wils' music and career as an openly gay artist brings a voice representation to millions of underrepresented LGBTQ plus kids who cannot live a life of authenticity due to the culture they live in. Wils has made it his mission to be honest and authentic about who he is, and as a result, has inspired many fans in Asia to live their lives authentically and openly, bringing together a community of fans to support, love, and lift one another up. Wils' music is driven by the force of love, where he lifts his fans through the power of compassion and belief. Wils is a down-to-earth artist who believes in inspiring and connecting communities through his music. Wils is not only a singer and songwriter, but also a producer, and his single, Open Up, Babe, was featured in Billboard, and his album, Don't Leave Too Soon, was featured in Huffington Post, Glad, Pride, Out, and Pink News. Wils has performed at New York Fashion Week, as well as the National Stadium of Singapore, at the SG50 concert to an audience of 44,000. He was also featured on the cover of Men's Health magazine. That's really cool, Wils. Here today to share his story and to inspire so many others. We proudly welcome the one and only Wils to the Power of Love show. Wils, how are you, my friend?
Hi, lots of love to you, TJ in Touch. Thank you so much for having me on the show. This means so much to me.
Wils, we are happy to have you. And I see the 2 speakers and 2 cool statues on those speakers.
And that one.
Yes, it's a little tight now because Taj was here when I first mentioned to you. But it's so good to have another recording artist on the Power of Love show, who's not a Jackson, I should say. But it's so great to have you, and I want to thank you for being here, Wils.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, Wils, as I just said, and as you may know, we too are recording artists and understand the power of music. And I have a question for you. As a fellow lover of music, singing, and songwriting, tell us how you first began to find your passion in the music field.
This is so embarrassing. When I was 7, I remember I was at home and I was singing. My parents' friends were in my home, and so I was singing to the wall. And then I realized that they were all looking at me, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like singing can actually make them kind of like look over." And I always loved attention from my parents, so I wasn't getting enough. So I was like, "Okay, I would kind of sing to the wall and get attention from their friends." And so I started doing that a lot, singing to the wall. And one day my mom came and told me, she was like, "Hey, Will, by the way, my friends think that you're crazy because you're singing to the wall to yourself." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought they kind of liked it." So they actually got the attention of me. They thought I was crazy. But anyway, I carried that on to my high school. There was a singing contest in school, and I was nominated to sing a song for the class without my knowledge. And I was always a class clown. I like to pull jokes on people. And when they called out my name, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't put my name in for the talent contest." And they were like, "You're supposed to sing a song." So there was a karaoke machine on stage, and I started playing. I selected a song, and I started singing. And it was so bad because I had no idea how to sing, and I was tone deaf. And so everybody started laughing. And I was like, wow, so if I could sing in a bad way and make people laugh, maybe I should take up the guitar and piano and learn how to sing. And the following year, I would surprise my classmates again. So I did that like the year after I started learning how to play the guitar, learning how to play piano. And then I this time nominated myself to go up on the talent contest for the singing contest the following year. And I went on stage and sang. and my friends and a lot of people started crying at this time, and I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, like music is something that could make people feel a certain way. So I felt like I really wanted to do this for the rest of my life because it's so liberating to feel the sense of like music making people feel the same way. It's like it's a
Mm.
beautiful language that
Mm.
um, it's sound, and it's so healing, and so that's how I discovered that I wanted to singing. Yeah.
It's we always say it's the most powerful language. It's the
Yeah.
common denominator. It's what unifies the world, you know. And we were fortunate enough, of course, to have our uncles and our whole family, our aunts, in the music industry, and our father, of course, that we got to see it. You know, I actually, Taj, we went to Singapore with Uncle Michael for the Dangerous tour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go there, Wills, and we don't speak any any other language except a bit of Spanish and English.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when you see the impact that my uncle had for, I was probably 10 years old, and you see the power of music, and it's just we are the three of us are incredibly blessed to be able to do it for a living and to share our love and passion with the world. So
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful thing. Now your situation is different, Wills, because you had success as well, and like us, we had success, and the record industry or the record label was a little harsh to us.
Right.
But in your situation, it was a lot more difficult, of course, because you were just living your truth, and I don't know, it just feels like it was so incredibly unfair. I want to get there, but I want to ask you first about the process. So before coming out, you amassed a huge, large following of fans in Singapore. I want to know, how did it feel, knowing you were gaining such a huge fan base, doing what you love, but also hiding this truth about you being gay? How was that experience, and what was that like?
That's a really good question. It's really hit like the heart of how I, the hardship that I went through. It felt it's so interesting because when I was performing in front of 44,000 people, I thought that, oh my God, it's so nice that I finally am doing what I love, being able to express myself. But at the same time, um, I felt like I was living a lie because like the more people I had, the more fans that I had that were following my music, the more I felt like I was hiding it and I couldn't be myself. And so there was a lot of time growing up that I felt that I was I was just constantly hiding who I was because I couldn't be that openly gay person. I think because of the society that I grew up in.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember I would always hear people making fun of gay people, and I realized like, oh, I realized that people don't really love gay people out here, and so I had to start to hide and protect myself. And I remember that I didn't want people to discover who I was because I didn't want to hurt my parents. I didn't know how my parents were gonna react, if they were gonna reject me, or if my friends were gonna stop loving me, or if I if I were can be truthful to my fans, like would they still accept me? So it was a very rough period of time where I was happy seeing that the music was doing well and people are connecting with the music, but at the same time I felt like I couldn't be truthful about myself. So it was kind of like I was living two lives, basically.
Yeah, that has to be very challenging and difficult. And I and Taj, we commend you for speaking with us now and being open, and what you're doing when you're doing things like you're doing now. I think it's going to help the future. Of course, there's artists that are going to have it a bit easier. I do want to know, what exactly was there a moment? Was there something you saw or heard, or was there another artist? What inspired you to finally reveal your truth about being gay?
I remember I came to America, and I was out in West Hollywood living openly as a free gay man, and I realized like, oh, I could be myself. And one day I went home, and I had a couple of tequilas, and I pulled up YouTube, and Elton John's "Your Song" came up, and then the lyrics, "I'm not one of those who can easily hide," came up, and then I just started crying because I realized that I didn't want to live a life of hiding.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sing like create music that was not truthful. And I feel like I owe it to my fans to be completely 100% authentic in order for me to relate my message across. And I feel like I was just tired of living a lie. And so after that song came up, I decided to come forward with about life, because I didn't want to spend another day wasting my life away in lying about who I was.
I can hear the emotion still in you, Wils, and I commend you for being, as open. I know I can only imagine how challenging it was for you during that time. You are living partial dream because you are succeeding musically. You're doing all you dreamed about as a kid, with all these fans and all this great success. But part of you feels like it's not you who's you can't be completely you. And I can only imagine what that's like. So on behalf of the world and society, we apologize. And it's, like what we think, it's going to get easier as we go forward, as more people like you tell your story. I have a question. Were you surprised by being dropped by your record label after coming out? And yeah, were you surprised? That's the first question.
I think I was. I guess I don't. That's great. I don't know. I don't think I was surprised because I was kind of mentally prepared because there's not a lot of openly gay artists in Asia because of how people see gay people. And growing up, I never had any representation in media that I could look up to, so I always felt very, very alone that I couldn't share this part of me with the people that I love. I wasn't surprised. I think I kind of was prepared for it because I know that there's not a lot of there's not really an industry that's open back then for LGBT people. So I kind of thought that I'm sure that I could possibly be dropped. So
yeah. I'm going to just read a couple of these comments. Clarice says, so happy for you, Wils. You are standing in your truth.
Oh, thank you.
And Anna says, you're helping others, Wils, by talking about your fears. And Nicole, there's a lot of them, but here's another one from Nicole. I commend you for your strength and courage, Wils.
Oh, so much love. I feel it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's TJ. Like you guys give me this platform to open up, to share my story, which will really make an impact in so many people's lives. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So with that said, Wils, how does it feel now being open with your fans across the globe and being able to inspire others to live their truth? How are you feeling today in 2021?
I feel so liberated. I feel so free. I feel like I can finally write what's in my heart. And there was just a lot of things that were distracting me from my music, and I'm sure you guys can relate to it. It's like when you want to be, truthful about a song or your sound, and there's just gonna be a lot of distractions from, it could be labels, it could be like life, and these things just keep coming in the way. And I just feel like now after coming out, I could finally focus on loving, and that's that's the number one thing in my life, is that I've always been someone, if I love something, I want to love it wholeheartedly. And so if I wanted to love my music wholeheartedly, I wanted to love the people that I love wholeheartedly. So now being myself and openly truthful about who I am, I feel I have nothing to hide, and I can finally just focus on the music and writing what I really feel about it.
Which beautiful. Which should be the case. Toria has a great question. She asks, were you surprised by some people's response in a positive or negative way?
I actually was surprised by like there was this man who's married in Singapore who wrote to me and said, "Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm married, but I'm gay, and I can't live the life of authenticity
Mm,
because of the way society has structured it throughout the years. Maybe in
mm,
my next life," he says, but he said, "Thank you for doing that, and I could now live vicariously through you."
Mm.
So I'm
wow.
pretty surprised by like what the impact it has like made in people's lives. But in like negatively, I've seen um, yeah, I've seen people just kind of tell me about like, oh, it's such a shame that you are gay, and it's shame on
Mm,
your parents. And I'm like, I get really like offended. It's like I can deal it on my own. Like you can say anything about me, but when you
Yeah,
say things about the people that I love, that's when I get really defensive and
yeah,
protective.
of
You know,
course. Yeah.
so yeah, so that I definitely got like a good mix of both negative and
Mm.
positive. But I'm just saying focus on making a difference in people's lives, and that's what
Yeah.
matters. What you guys do.
great.
Will, Wills, were you always a positive person though? Like, were you always someone, even in childhood, that looked at the bright side of things? Like,
I have
because
always been,
yeah,
and then when I started to, battle this trauma of being gay, I remember I became very negative. I
yeah, me
remember
too.
my mom was one day she was like, "Will, like, there's that the shine that light in your eyes, it's gone."
Mhm.
And that was when I was dealing with my sexuality because I didn't want them to know. I did it. I battled it on my own, and so yeah, I love that you asked that question because it's like it kind of like brings you back to your childhood of who you really are, and then
Mhm.
as we grow, we kind of change based on our experiences or traumas that we deal with.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, have you both always been so bright and positive about the outlook in life, or you kind of like went through a different?
I think overall, Wills, we have. I think there's always been, there's obviously experiences that may have, at some moments, reeled that in a bit. But overall, I think we've had this upbeat positivity. I think, and we commend it to our family, not just our father's side, but our mother's side. We were blessed at being a great family that laughed a lot and valued simple things. And I think when you do that and when you grow up in that, you can kind of, you have this kind of positive outlook in life, So that's what I would say. Taj, is there anything you would say to that?
We had different experiences.
Hey, whoa.
I look back at me as a kid. I was a very confident kid. I mean, I just look at home videos and I'm like singing out loud and all that stuff, and I'm like, wow, I was just not shy, and I just didn't care. And then
Yeah.
when I became like almost around teenager, I really became introverted, and I also was very critical of myself, and I didn't love myself as much as I should have in that way. And it took a long time for that to happen, where I actually just became comfortable in my own skin. We talked about the Taj persona in 3T started with just kind of almost like what someone that I wanted to be like, as opposed to who I was. And I was like, I'm going to play this person. Hopefully I can fill in the gaps. But it was completely opposite of, I was naturally shy. I, couldn't talk to anyone. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to force myself to do all this. And so all these decades have been kind of just filling in the gaps and becoming more comfortable, but loving myself as well. And so it's been a journey. It's been, I hid behind that persona. It's not the same thing as what you had to deal with, but there is that thing of like when you aren't true to who you are as an artist, and then you're like kind of like you're faking everyone out. Like, so I get that aspect of what you said, even though it's completely a different scenario. There is that where you're not being a true artist in terms of like you're lying to them in that way. And so I am more happy now because I've, faults and all, I'm more authentic in a way. I'm not pretending to be someone. I'm just who I am.
Yeah, I can totally relate to what you're saying. It's like I started in a space where I used to be an introvert, and because I was so uncomfortable with being an introvert, and I see that other people are so good in expressing themselves,
Mhm.
I push myself to a scenario where I'm made to express myself, and I feel like
Yes.
that's what you're doing. You push yourself to you could play a part
Yeah.
until you get so used to that part that is part of you.
Yeah.
And that's a very
Exactly.
striving and a very uplifting character to
Yeah.
have. That's really
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
we have received a lot of super chats, so I want to thank everyone who's done the super chats. Bommy, I see you. Timea, Janine, Sophia, Dillis. I hope I'm saying your name right. She says thank you for sharing so openly. A-
Oh,
And then there was one that came early in the show from
Brandy Boy.
Brandy.
Yeah,
Brandy Boyd. So Brandy, I don't have the ability to show your super chat at the moment, but what I can do is ask Wils this question on your behalf. But thank you, Brandy, for the super chat for supporting DDJF. Okay, well, Will, she wants to know who and what was your inspiration to start making music?
Oh.
that's interesting. Hi, Brandy. I would say Coldplay was
Hey,
really like the way their music was so uplifting. They would turn something sad into something beautiful. Um,
Nice.
they have really helped me to see like understand music in a totally different way. Um, and so they like yeah, Coldplay has been such a big inspiration in my in my life.
yeah,
Says yes, you said my name right.
yes, yes. Okay, Wills, I got another question for you. What advice would you give to someone who may be struggling with revealing the truth about their sexuality because of society's stigmas?
I feel like you have to give yourself time to accept yourself first because you know you might be very afraid of how people would think of who you are as a person, but it starts with yourself. Um, take all of that fear of other people's perception of you aside. Start with you and tell yourself that you have to be accepting to yourself. Be kinder to yourself because um, if you are capable of loving yourself, that's when you're capable of loving others. And I feel like if one of the most important ways of being able to deal with your sexuality and being okay with it is that if you love yourself enough, you're able to to educate others that it's okay. Like no matter how much they hate you, you still come from a place of love, where
Mhm.
you feel like I'm doing this because I love myself and I want to be able to love the people around me. So
Mm.
I think loving yourself is and being kinder to yourself is so vital.
Where do you hope to see yourself, and you could say your career as well, in 5 years, Wills?
I would love to be collaborating with artists out here. I've had so much input in music out here than I've had in living in Asia, just because like there's so many different genres, and I'm discovering music every day. And with production, I'm also doing that. Like my sounds are changing with the sounds that I listen to. So I'd love to see myself collaborating with different genres of artists out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, Wills, where can we find your music?
You can find them on Spotify, YouTube, under Wils, Wils.
Okay.
And on Spotify, because it's Wils, it's you know like Wilsons pop up a lot, so you have to like open update like the song title and then find me on Spotify.
Okay. But YouTube as well, and Apple Music, I assume, and all that. And
Yeah.
then don't leave too soon. That's your latest album.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. When did you release that one?
I released it last year in February, like around February.
Okay. Do you find yourself? Let me ask you this question. Don't leave too soon. Why that? Why that album title?
Because when I was a child, I remember my cousin would visit me all the time, and I would get so attached to the people that I love. And I remember she was going off in the airport, and I was crying. She lives in Taiwan. I live in Singapore, and I was like, "Please don't go. Like, just stay." And like, please, like, I always loved things. And I want them to stay, but they always end up leaving. So anyway, and the year before, I have a friend whose husband passed away from cancer, and so it's like he lived with his husband the last 5 months of his husband's life with so much love. And it's this title is really about like cherishing every moment, and that because like we all leave, we're all gonna leave this world, and it's just with that time that you have, use it with so much love and so much immense feelings that you have. So that's yeah.
You're getting a lot of love, Wils. All melting my heart with the love that radiates.
Oh, it's so sweet.
And Janine wants to know, are we allowed to say that he's really cute?
Oh,
Yes,
thank
you can. I love it.
You have a beautiful Janine.
And then Timea says she likes your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I love it. Love it.
Beautiful smile.
You got so many good comments, man. So many. I have to go through them. Okay, Wils. So, you know what? I was gonna go here, but I guess I'll do it this way. Taj, you don't have any questions, right?
I have one question.
Yeah, come on, Taj. You're gonna let me go to this spot and not even mention
Well,
that?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going. So.
All right, go ahead,
We don't
Taj.
plan this. So, do you have a favorite song that you've written that is your most sentimental song, and why in that way?
Yes. My favorite song that I wrote is called "Someone Who Loves You." And the reason why is because in the past 3 years, coming out, in that journey of discovering myself as an openly gay artist, I've come to find that there's a lot of lack of self-love. And I wanted to write a song that reminds everyone that someone loves you out there, and holding on to that idea is very beautiful, because I've seen so many people give up on love and give up on relationships, and the thing is, life is ongoing, and love takes effort. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of self work, and being able to love someone is a very courageous thing. It's and so that song means so much to me because I feel like I just want people to know that there's someone out there who loves you, and that's what I share with my fans, is that I love them so dearly, and I want them to feel that. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Great message.
I saw a question which I liked a lot. You got so many positive responses, Wils.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cool. It's awesome to see.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, there's no negatives. No negatives. Okay, this is the question that I really like. Georgina wants to know, Wils, do you have a song written that tells your story?
Yes, I do. Hi, Joe. I have a song. It's called "Open Up, Babe," and it's about speaking to my younger self. That little kid that was very fearful of the world. It was telling that little kid that it's okay to open up yourself to the world again, and not be afraid, because that's what life is about, like opening yourself up more to things every day, so that you can connect closer to who you are as a person, and connect closer with love, because the more you open yourself to different things in life, it makes life so beautiful that you're able to see it from so many different ways. So
love it. Okay, yeah. What's that?
I said
you're getting so many good comments. It's really cool to.
Thanks.
It's really cool to
Wils,
see.
they did want to know, how did you meet Randy Jackson from the American Idol fame?
I was in downtown LA filming my music video for the song "Back to Life," and he was outside, and he walked in, and he was like, "Who's this artist?" And that, and then he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I was like, and I was like, "Oh, I think it's Randy Jackson from American Idol," because I used to watch him when I was in Singapore, and it's so funny because like this is so embarrassing. I joined Singapore Idol like long time ago, and I didn't even make it like past the first like audition round. And I was like looking at American Idol judge over there, and I was like, okay, I gotta keep my cool. So he was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "I'm filming a music video." He was like, "This is pretty cool. You want to meet up for like a coffee and chat about music?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure."
Wow.
So
That's cool.
And then we had a coffee, and he was like, "You want to try working together in a song?" And you know, it'll be interesting between the East and the West. You know, collaboration with the song. So yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Interesting story. Yeah.
I love that. And that would be, just to confirm, everyone, that's not our Uncle Randy. That is the Randy Jackson, the bassist from American Idol. Just to confirm, because I say, is that this your Uncle Randy? So, all right. So, Wils, you know what? I was going to mention how people can. I mean, it's been on the screen, but if you're listening to us right now, it's at HEYWILS, which is Hey Wils, 1L. And that is his website, heywils.com, but it's also his Instagram and Twitter. With all that said, Wils, we warned you and prepared you before we even started that you will have up to a minute to talk about anything you want. We want to leave you with the final word to our community. Again, it could be about, you know, your favorite recipe, your favorite TV show, your favorite song, whatever you want to talk about, Wils. The floor is yours, starting now.
Thanks. Well, I take this as a dance floor, because like if I want to talk about dance, like I've always loved dance so much. When I was a kid, I remember that I was in my aunt's. She brought me. She had like a work meeting. Not work, like a work after work party, and she snuck me into a club, and I was dancing till 4 a.m. in the morning. And I remember hiding behind my aunt, coming out from the club with one of my shoes missing, and someone behind was like, "Someone left some kid's shoe is over here." And so that was me. Like I was in the club just dancing, and I love dancing because it always feels so liberating, and I would do stupid things because I feel like I could be silly. But with that being said, I want to share one of the most important things is that life is so precious, and you only have this life to live. So live your story and dance the way you dance, like be the way you be, and live the way you live, because when you do that, you inspire everybody else to do the same. So dance freely and love life.
Oh, look at that.
Look at
That's
this guy. Yes.
I know, right? Wils bringing it home in a perfect way. Well, Wils, we just want to thank you, man, for joining our community, our show. We hope you enjoyed it. And from the comments, you don't get to see them all, but if you want to, you could rewatch on Facebook and YouTube. You'll see so much love for you. The community loved you. They loved your spirit and energy. And I and Taj, we echo that sentiment. Please continue to be you. You are helping so many with telling your story. We get one life, like you said, and it's not fair to anyone to not be able to live their life. So on behalf of Taj and the entire foundation, Wils, I want to thank you for joining us. To everyone who's watching or listening, thank you guys for joining us. We will be back next Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time. Until next time, on behalf of Taj, the foundation, and of course our special guest, Wils, we want to thank you guys and remind you to please be safe and live with love. Adios, everyone.
Bye. Lots of love.